I'm eating lunch and just thinking about some things, you know. And I want to talk a little bit about masculine power. Masculine power. I think I'm gonna name it that. And this this whole thought started when I was like just reflecting on myself and just thinking like how powerful like I am and how strong I am and how I feel that I can tame any masculine woman. I'm so powerful that I can tame any masculine woman. It doesn't matter like who it is either. Like I just know that I can. Like I can see past that frame that they're holding. I can see right past it. I can see the vulnerable child that's standing there looking for guidance, right? I can see it. See right past those eyes. And I can put them in their place like just like that. It's crazy. And and I was even going far enough to say that now this is interesting. Even when it comes to like transgendered men, that I am so powerful, I can even tame a man and turn him into a bitch. That's right. And so like that thought just came to me and I was reflecting on that. And I was like, what the fuck? This shit is insane. Um but yeah, that's like how I feel. Like I've felt that for so long. I've always felt that about myself. And I've always been interested in like S&M and all that stuff and very extreme pain and pleasure and that dynamic and control and power and just making a person feel all of these ranges of emotions and controlling and directing the flow of their emotions, taking a person on a journey through their own emotions, right? And I've always like imagined myself doing that to someone. What would it be like if I were to use my full power and influence the emotions of another? Intentionally influence the emotions of another, and not just for my own pleasure, but for theirs as well. And I find myself imagining the level of depth that I can take a person through given, this power that I have. So I was just reflecting on that, man. And then I started to like think about the emotion of anger when it comes to like masculinity. And I personally feel that where we go wrong in being masculine as men is that we don't know how to control our anger. Like we become powerless to our anger, that rage. And I know that I personally have anger issues sometimes. Like I can get so angry and it like just rattles my spine and I have this, my hands start shaking, the tenseness in my shoulders, my hair stands up in my head, like that feeling, like it's just so angry and it just snaps and I just like feel this rage and then I just try to hold on and it's like you're on an unexpected roller coaster ride, when you first at the top of that roller coaster and that sensation you get in the top of your shoulders and you just get ready for that drop and your belly drops. That's that anger, just like that feeling. And it just takes over us and it causes us to do harm to gentle things, to gentle creatures. You know, anger in terms of masculinity is sometimes necessary when you're defending the weak, when you're hunting. I see anger as like the tip of the spear when you're hunting for food, or the tip of the spear when you're defending your loved ones. It's not necessary to use the tip of the spear on your own loved ones, the very sensitive ones there you are there to protect. And that's where we go wrong. We don't know how to control the tip of our spears. And we stab and hurt each other and harm our own loved ones, the ones we are here to protect, our family members, our wives, our sisters, our mothers. We use that spear and we pierce them, and they hurt, they bleed, they die, they become afraid. So what is their defense is to just, fear masculinity, fear the anger, fear the rage element of masculinity. But masculinity is a beautiful thing, though. Like, we need masculinity out here. We need that strength that comes with masculinity. We need that protection. We need that direction. We need that focus. Like, it's so needed. Like, when I think of the parallels with feminine and masculine energy, it's like masculine energy is the container, the jar, and the feminine energy is the liquid, the water. So in order to have some stability, some form of structure, and combining the two, men need to imagine themselves as the container, the vessel that is holding the fluid in this scenario. That's how you look at masculine and feminine energy. You can't be angry at all of masculinity. It's similar to being angry at the jar, at the container, at the structure. And when you don't have that, and when it's not functioning, when it has a crack, that liquid seeps out, or the liquid isn't even able to form any shape. It's always flowing, always in chaotic. Look at the ocean. The moon, the emotional moon, is influencing the ocean, the water, the feminine energy, and it's just on a rampage, constantly moving, constantly flustered, constantly in motion, violent tornadoes, or hurricanes, violent storms, shipwrecks. Just the violence of an ocean, of the storm of an ocean, of the sea. Oh, it is so violent, so much power. Very powerful, but it's controlled by the moon in all of these waves and changes and things and moods, and nature, the changes in nature is influencing this energy, and it's constantly in motion, right? That's why we need containers, men, masculinity, to support that, to help direct it. When you focus the power of water at a particular point, you can cut through anything. That's what a relationship should look like when you're using masculinity and femininity together as one. It's kind of like a water pistol, men. So think of a water pistol, the feminine energy of the water, and you're sharpening its focus. Imagine how strong a partnership can be, just like a water pistol cutting through steel. That's the power of a relationship. That's the power of a relationship, a one that understands that balance, that masculine and feminine balance. It can work together. The woman using her femininity, the man is strong, focused, laser focused on that goal. Make sure that woman is on time, organized, getting her shit straight. That's how you lead a relationship with a woman that's gentle, that's feminine. You help her become better. You be the strong example in the family structure, so everyone looks upon you for guidance and strength, and you're just leading everyone. That's how it should look in relationships. And so there's nothing wrong with masculinity. We just need to overcome the barrier of anger. And, I was looking at this other day, the stages of grief. Anger is a part of that stage of grief, and we get stuck there. And we, that anger ends up harming our loved ones. So if we can learn how to cope with our anger, if we have resources where men can go and talk about what makes them angry and process that anger so that it flows down the hierarchy of grief down to negotiation, and so he can come up with strategies on how to deal with his anger or how to channel it, because that anger is useful. It's the point of the spear. It's the edge, it's the pointing spot of that water pistol that's cutting through the steel. It's the strength of that water pistol. So we need the anger. We just need to channel it correctly and channel it to the right things. Channel it to the things that's in our way, that's standing in our way of getting what we want. That's how we channel our anger. We channel that energy to break through any barrier that comes in our family, any challenge that comes on our job. That's what we do as men. That's how we channel our anger in a healthy way, not harming our loved ones because we don't have any resources or outlets. Play some sports or something, go out, hang out with the boys. Allow yourself some time to be to yourself so you can think and focus. That's all it takes. So masculinity is needed. Like it is needed so much because it's like there's no structure in our society, and that's like that is an example. This just came to me. The chaos in our society is in my opinion, a result of not having the masculine structure that's needed in our society. It's basically being controlled by the ocean, by the moon, by the emotions, by the feminine energy that's controlling everything in our families. How do you expect structure to be in a society when every family is solely, for the majority of the times, solely being raised by the mother alone? And then you have an overwhelming amount of this feminine energy in society that's controlling things now. And then it just moves like the ocean, like the waves of the ocean, those tides, very emotional, very reactive society. And then as the result, you have a civilization that's falling apart, that has no structure, has no order. Like it's insane. And so if we were to get our men back into a position to where they feel strong and masculine energy is supported in the community, because we know that anger is the culprit, and we just need to channel that anger in the correct way and have resources to channel anger, then we can get our men back on track with building up their masculinity. All right. And once that happens, we can finally have some structure in a family because the women will stay in relationships with a masculine man. Hello there. That's what they're waiting for. I think women in society today are just literally waiting on the sidelines for, it reminds me of the school dance, the high school dance. Everybody's on the sidelines waiting for the first person to stand up and fucking start dancing. Then everybody starts boogieing and getting down and shit. It just takes that first brave soul to fucking get out here and say this shit, to say, hey, I'm willing to stand up and be that strong foundation and lead the way, be the rising star in this whole thing, and show men the way how to be strong men and have your masculinity, have your cake and eat it too, man. Shit, we can have our cakes and eat it too. Who said we couldn't? And the person that said we couldn't didn't have the type of vision that I have. How about that? So we can have our cakes and eat them too. They want to be eaten, damn it. They taste good. But that's what's required. Our man needs to step up, stop being afraid of these women. Man, like that's basically what it is. These men are afraid of women because we were all raised by our mothers. And our mothers instill this fear in us so she can get what she wants. It's like this programming that mothers sometimes do to their sons to put them in a position, or put the sons in a position to be like a servant. Like, do everything for them, hand me this, hand me that, have some type of control over a man. Like, this is the woman's experience controlling a man, and so she gets her rocks off. Controlling men, not realizing that she's setting up society to fail because there's no real men left in society to stand up and not be afraid of women. And so then you have this snowball effect. So that's why we need to have men in the relationships with their children, showing them how to not be afraid of their mothers. That's basically what that is. Like, teach your son not to be afraid of your mother, and like have some respect. Like, we need respect on both sides, boundaries on both sides. The son is allowed to have boundaries over the mother. And once you teach the son, the little boy, that you are allowed to have a boundary over your mother, that's going to stop all this chaos of these men being afraid of women and then not being able to attract them down the road to maintain structure in a family household. Like, see how that will prepare itself? It's like being knocked down and standing back up. We can stand back up again. We've been knocked down, yes. We haven't had leaders stand up in society to show us the way, but we can stand back up and do this right and take the bull by the horns. Like, they're waiting for us. These women are fucking on the sidelines waiting for us, waiting for us to become visible to them, because they will not notice us if we don't have these traits of strength. Strength is like, you can feel strength. You don't have to say any words. There are no words needed when you walk up to a woman and you feel strength within yourself and you know that you can have her. There is no words needed. And she knows by her, she also knows the same thing. There's like this communication that happens between us that like, that's invisible. We can't see it, but it's a feeling. And that communication happens in nature all the time. And that's what women are waiting for. They're waiting for that feeling. And then they'll say yes. They'll submit to you. Naturally, women want to submit. They need this structure. You know, it's like the yin and the yang. You know, it's like that, the head chasing the tail, that cycle. One needs the other. It's seeking it. Like that feminine energy is seeking masculine energy. And masculine energy is seeking feminine energy. Like, we need each other. It's like you get in a frenzy without it. You know, it's like that catnip. Like, you need to have the other. And it's like that feminine wave that the water is always going to be looking for a vessel to live in. Like, don't you notice in nature, water always finds a vessel to live in? Whether it's a rock carved out on the side of the beach, whether it's a stone, whether it's like in the crevices of something, like, water always finds structure to live in, to live within, because it needs containment. It's always seeking containment. That's why it's so wild, because it's looking for peace. It's looking for peace. And men can provide that peace to these women if we learn how to. And so the knowledge will come. The knowledge will come how to provide this peace to women. And we desire chaos. Ironically, you know, we like that wild shit. The craziness of a woman. They just fluster you. They're so uncontrollable. That wild horse that you want to tame. Like, you just crave to tame something. And it's this cycle that just continues. And it's a beautiful cycle. It's a beautiful cycle. I love this cycle. Like, I love the idea of taming something. Just like, it gives me passion. It gives me joy. It gives me strength. The feeling, just the thought of taming something wild, like an idea. Like, an idea is let me help you guys understand this, right? Like, an idea, imagination, the non-physical, that's feminine, man. Like, that is feminine energy. It's the symbolization of women. It's the simulation of, like, feminine energy. And when you control and contain it, more so contain it than control, but when you dominate it and you contain that thing, it's the same thing as starting and finishing a project, because the project starts off as an idea, the non-physical, the feminine, and then you turn it into the masculine. You structure it, and you use that idea, that energy, and you add barriers to it. You know, you add that frame to it to materialize it into the third dimension. You see how that works together? That materialization from the non-physical to the physical is the mother energy to the male energy. It's like this cycle that happens. That's what's going on here on this level when it comes to relationships and masculine and feminine energy. It's that material, is the physical cycle of that energy that happens. And so, like, just like you're getting an idea for something, you're imagining something in your mind as an engineer or anybody or a creator, and you say, okay, this is the energy, this is what I'm feeling, this is the flow, this is how it should look. That's that feminine right there. Feminine energy, non-material, that wave of the ocean, the movement. and you're materializing it, and you're building the thing, you're working on it, you're designing it, you're materializing into the third dimension. That's that masculine energy there, that structure, and both are needed, right? So how can you understand that both is needed in that aspect, but you can't understand that both is needed in relationships? Men and women, like, it's both are needed. There's like, you can't have one without the other, guys. So we have to learn how to, you know, have, fix this structure within society here. We need men in our families. They have to exist. It just can't be led by women alone. Like, it just can't. Not if you want good results. I mean, you can, but look at the results of that. Just look around you. Men in prison, it's our families are destroyed. It's chaos out there. It is chaos. So just wanted to like share this message on the importance of masculine energy, and just talk about, how it all works, how it's supposed to work. And it's just messed up. It's all messed up, but we gonna get there. Like, we're gonna continue to build and think of new ideas and have these conversations and imagine new strategies, and move away from all this nonsense that we're talking about today. It's like, come on now. Like, you and I both know that it's the energy and the connection is what drives that relationship. Nothing. It's nothing material, in my opinion. Like, women communicate via the non-material, so it's the energy. They understand that energy more than anything, and so they'll feel, the attraction just by you being the attraction, just by you knowing who you are, knowing your. So okay, look at it like this, right? So when they say time doesn't exist, that everything is happening now, and that your thoughts, things that you think, ways that you feel, that's also within alignment to that time spectrum, right, of not existing. So if you are feeling a certain way about yourself, and you have this certain belief about yourself, it does not matter if you've materialized anything yet, because time doesn't exist. And so if you believe that you are some way, and you have these certain traits within your being, and you have this knowingness about it, and you're strong, the woman is going to feel that, and it's going to feel as though you already have the material possessions to back it up. Does that make sense? So like, I'm trying to like paint the picture here, right? You're imagining like time doesn't exist. Everything is happening now, which means all the possessions that you desire, you already have them. You just haven't experienced them yet. And so if you can simply experience them within yourself as if you had it already, the woman is going to pick up on that energy, and it's going to be like she's also experiencing your wealth already before you even physically obtain it, because it already exists. You just simply haven't like walked down the street to pick it up. And so that's what she's connecting to. You can literally be broke, not have a dime in your pocket, and you can feel like $1,000,000, and you can walk up to a woman feeling like $1,000,000, and she will feel the wealth, and you have her. Like, you have her. She has your attention. She won't ignore you. She'll, respect you. She'll give you a shot. And she'll be looking for you to prove to her that you are what you say you are, what you feel you are. Are you really on your goals and on your purpose? It doesn't matter if you have it yet. That's why some women are prone to help men become better, because like, it's true, like, they are willing to be in your corner and support you. And so allow that to happen. Yeah, I talked a lot, and I didn't expect to say all this. It just came out. But I have to get back to work. My emails are piling up, and it's hard to focus on my day job. This is why I should not have a day job. This should be my day job. Like, I have so much to teach, so much to create, so much to build, so many projects to work on, so many lives to change. I'm too busy to be worried about emails right now. But it's coming. I have to be patient. I see, I'm getting angry. Woosah. I just gotta continue to be patient and do my day. This is an example here. I just need to, do my day, go about my day and stick to my plan, because I know, it'll end soon and I'll be able to be free. But I just wanted to talk about this dynamic of masculinity and femininity, and how we can move towards rebuilding the dynamic in our relationships with the opposite sex, right? Like, as men, this is what we need to become and look to do with ourselves so that we can finally attract the opposite sex without going broke, without dealing with the disrespect and the nonsense that comes with it. You'll be able to pass all her little tests in a moment's notice of her noticing that energy that you are embodying within yourself. And so that's all I need to say. I'm going to end it there, and you guys have a wonderful evening.